what I'm doing here this time is an image based on a panel I drew for one of my for my webcomic Muse for Rent, and pretty much what's going on here is a necklace surrounded by a bunch of circles. Yes, in this one I do a bit of experimenting with circleism. I don't make the whole thing out of circles, don't worry. And so in the scene, one of the characters is talking about how he's trapped or how he's being controlled by a crystal ball attached to a necklace, and you know how one of the ways to free him is to break the crystal, or like there was one idea that came up for the characters trying to free him, saying like, what if we break a spell? And he says like, yeah, you could, but there's like hundreds of spells and each circle represents a spell, and originally I was gonna draw them as runes, but that would be too much, so I drew them as circles. If you check out the page in which this image comes out, you'll also see above them as a bunch of circles. However, the only difference here is that for this image, the format is for an entire page, and I'm using black paper, because using black crayons for an entire page is I just didn't feel like using that much color material, so I used black paper, and it cut down on so much time on this piece. All I had to do was draw the circles. Right here I started adding crayons. I made the circles white first, and I got the idea from an art doll video I saw where someone was making a galaxy fox. Like the base fur was black, and they had spray painted white on it, and then they added color to it, and the white was to help the colors pop out better against the black. So that's what I did here. I made the circles white and then added the color. I switch up between the colors to add variation between them. And yeah, they're not all different sizes, they're just like at different focal points, or whatever you call them. Like the bigger ones would be a lot closer to the viewer than the smaller ones. How my character even got to talking about the magic circles is would be he was rented, a witch had him rented out to a demon, and the demon's like, hey, find me this witch. And so he does, but like things don't end up going well, because like the witch ends up finding a friend, and one of their familiars ends up finding Jaqui, my character, who's the demon chasing the witch. And so later he quickly strikes up a deal like, hey, Okay, I kind of forgot how it goes, but if you read it, you'll see for yourself. And so he eventually gets taken by fairies, and they're like trying to think of ways to deal with him, and he's like, hey, help me be free so that I don't have to hunt down your witch friend. And they're like, okay, we'll do that. And so in this part here, they're coming up with strategies and stuff, which doesn't quite turn out as expected. Like, there's currently 9 chapters out, and the 10th chapter is almost done. You can check them out on my Tumblr. If you're interested in having a copy of this picture, you can check out my store. You can check out my Amazon store, where you'll only find one item there, and it's a small notebook journal in like around 6x9. Like, it'll tell you the dimensions there in the description, but once you get there, and yeah. For the necklace, I added down a white layer and then a brown to help make it pop out more, and then added a white outline to help make it glow. The crystal ball, like, if you take a close look at it, you'll notice that it has a big crack in it, and it goes like, and it's a complete crack too, or something like that. Like, it wouldn't, because in the comic you only see like a piece of broken glass. That piece of glass is actually part of that crystal ball. And so the witch, whenever she rents out Jaqui, she removes a piece of the glass where that contains him, and then gives it out. However, if anyone were to try to use Jaqui against her to try to keep him for themselves, the witch could just use what remains of the rest of the crystal ball to call him back. So no matter what, she'll always have the full control of him, no matter who's owning him. I hope you enjoyed watching me ramble and make a bunch of colorful lights surrounding this crystal ball. I like how it came out at the end. It's just nice and glowy effect on the necklace. Pretty neat. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.